Hey everyone, my name is Kevin Sage. I'm a recent graduate of the Flatiron School of Software Engineering here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I just wanted to give a quick demonstration of my capstone project for Flatiron School called Tongue.io. Now, before I get into Tongue.io, let me give you a little background on myself and why I created this app. So, for the past 10 years, I've actually spent most of that time living abroad in China. And one of the things that, is a big struggle while living abroad, especially in a place like China, is just acquiring the language. So, what I did was created an app in which I could not only be able to translate phrases, but be able to save these translations into a phrasebook. And what this app also allows you to do is to save several phrasebooks. So, for example, if I were to travel not only to China, but if I were to go to Vietnam or Thailand, and I needed a quick phrasebook for words over there, I would be able to save several phrasebooks in one place. Okay, so um, just a little information about the app before we jump into it. Um, so the translation app was created with Ruby on Rails backend and a React front end, and we're using Redux for state management. The translations are provided by the Google Translate API and also have a country database for just random country information. Okay, so let's get into just how I would use the app if I were, getting ready to travel somewhere. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to, let's see, sign up. Oh, here we are. So, yeah, let's do a quick sign up. So let's do, what's it good? Let's do me as a username, and then we'll do me@me.com. And the password will also be me. And we're going to choose our home country. So let's just say that, let's say I'm French. Okay, so we're going to submit that. We created our account. Let's go ahead and save that. So let's go ahead and enter our password and login information, and let's go to submit. And as you can see here, we are taken to our dashboard immediately. So from here, as you can see, I have my username me@me.com, and the country is France, and I even have a French flag up here, which dynamically changes depending on the country you choose. So before we get started, let's go ahead and let's take a look at our country's database. So our country database is used for finding general information about each of these countries, and we can even look for particular information. So for example, let's say that I was taking a trip to Brazil. So I'll go ahead and type in Brazil here. Here's our country here, and let's learn a little bit more about Brazil. So we see here Brazil, the region is America. We have capital information, population, and the language Portuguese. Now, this is really interesting because not only can our country database look up information based on the country's name, but we can also look up information based on languages. So let's say I wanted to find all of the countries that speak Portuguese. So here we go. We have Portuguese being spoken in Angola, Brazil, Cabo Verde, Guinea-Bissau. So not only can we look it up based on our countries, but also languages. We can also look up countries based on the location, the general location in the world. So for example, if I was looking for countries in Europe, we can type in Europe and we'll get a long list of all of our European countries. The Americas. Here's a list of all of the countries located in the Americas. So the country database can do quite a bit of things. But let's go ahead and let's take the first country that we were looking for, our trip to Brazil. And let's go back to our dashboard. So we have our country of Brazil, and we want to create a phrasebook for Brazil. So we're going to go to our My Phrasebook section of the dashboard. And we're going to go down to Portuguese, just like so. And we're going to add a book. So now we have a Portuguese phrase book that's empty right now. As you can see, there's no phrases. So let's go ahead and click study so that we can start adding things to our phrase book. So let's say I wanted to say, I have some phrases here already. Let's say good night, and I want to know how to say good night in Portuguese. So let's go ahead and translate that. All right, so boa noite. I guess that's the translation for Portuguese. Now, if this is a phrase that I want to add to my phrase book, I'll just go ahead and hit save. And it's going to save this phrase to my phrase book. Now, another interesting thing about this app is that the translations are done in real time. None of these are saved to the database. So what that does is, as translation software improves over the years, as I have noticed, because living in China, some of those early years of Google Translate were really, really, really terrible. A lot of inaccurate translations. But over the years, it has actually gotten a lot better and more accurate. So what this will do is it'll allow you to get a translation in real time whenever you need it, and it's always going to be the most update translation. Okay, so what we have here is to get the translation, all we have to do is simply hover over the word, and the translation is done here. Okay, so for example, let's go ahead and clear that out. And let's say I'm running through my vocabulary and I want to try to actively recall the word without necessarily being able to look at it. I'll look at good night and I'll try to think of the translation. If not, I can hover, get an accurate translation. Okay. So as you can see, we have our phrase book, which was incremented by 1, and also our phrases. Right. So let's say we also wanted to visit Colombia, in which they spoke Spanish. So let's go ahead and add another phrase book. Okay, so now we have 2 phrase books, 0 phrases, and let's go to study. So let's say we also wanted to learn how to say goodnight in Spanish. There's our translation, and now it's saved, right? So we have a phrase here, and we have 2 phrase books. All that is working properly. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this demonstration. Again, thanks for your time. Peace.